Здравствуйте, уважаемые коллеги! Общеизвестно, что тот, кто владеет информацией, владеет ситуацией. Именно поэтому нам так тяжело представить современную действительность без средств массовой информации. А следовательно, важно привлечь внимание всех и каждого к источникам информации, а также их влияние на формирование личности школьника, его гражданской и социальной позиции. Но помимо этого, на каждом уроке английского языка решается еще и коммуникативная задача, а следовательно, целью данного занятия будет формирование и развитие навыков речевого общения. Поэтому школьникам будет предложено актуализировать лексику на тему одного из источников информации – радио. Индивидуальная и парная работа позволит формировать и развивать навыки монологической и диалогической речи. А групповая работа, помимо образовательных целей, способствует формированию толерантного отношения к мнению других людей. Тема урока, особо актуальная в наши дни, способствует стимуляции речевой деятельности учащихся. Школьники смогут обсудить актуальность радио, а также проанализировать и исследовать его значение и роль в современном обществе. Итак, добро пожаловать на урок. В эфире 7 Д. Stand up, please. Hello, students.
Hello, teacher.
I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you too.
Sit down, please. Masha, what day is it today?
Today is 28th of January.
Okay. Tanya, what day is it today?
Today is Wednesday.
Tess, what's the topic of our module?
Topic of our module is in the news. It's 7th class on this topic.
Anya Shinkarev, what's the weather like today?
Today is cold, not sun.
It's dull.
Very warm.
Yes. Okay. Now I would like to tell you the story. And there are 3 mistakes. Your task is to find these mistakes and correct them. It's a very short story. So let's start. As you know, I'm working for the international TV channel. So yesterday, when I was making the news report, I was talking about the nice, hot and sunny weather in Moscow. Now, in June, such weather is typical of Russia. This is the end of the story. Mash, have you found?
Work on the radio.
Absolutely. First mistake.
Yesterday it wasn't hot and sunny.
Right.
And
And one more mistake. Somebody? Should I repeat?
yes.
For example, the last sentence was, such weather is typical of June in Russia.
Today is January.
Absolutely. It's not June nowadays. So, now this story is somehow connected with the topic of our module and the topic of our class, right? So, let's find out what's the topic of our today's class. Don't forget about the whole topic of the module. How do you think? What are we going to talk about today? About the radio, absolutely. So we are going to talk about the radio. Tell me, please, why is it so important to find out some new facts about the radio? How do you think? Come on.
Because it's interesting to learn new facts.
Right, absolutely. It's very interesting. What else? Ань.
This is cool.
Cool? Aha, why?
This is cool.
Great. So what other ideas and suggestions? Have you got any? Okay. For example, when you are coming to the 9th grade, you are going to get examination, to take the exam, right?
Yeah.
So, is it possible that you will have this topic during your exam?
Yes, it is.
It is possible. So it's necessary to study such topics to get ready for your examination, right? Okay. How do you think? Is it very important nowadays in the world to know about the radio?
It's important because the radio is one of the most popular sources of information.
Absolutely, correct. So, if we are talking about sources of information, we will find out and remember some other sources of information. So, please, somebody, Pasha Zhigrev, stand up, come up to the table and choose the pictures that denote the other sources of information. What is it?
TV.
Put it on the whiteboard, please. Okay, thank you. Lisa, stand up. What else do we know? Find some interesting and necessary. The internet, for sure. The internet is one of the sources of the information. Put it on the whiteboard. Correct. Maxim, you're so close. Please, how do you think?
Radio.
Right, put it on the whiteboard. Thank you. Danya, will you?
Telephone.
Do you think that the telephone is the source of information?
Yes.
Really? I don't think so. It's not a means of, it's a means of communication, but not a source of information, yes?
Yes.
Put it on the table and... Yes, it's more correct. What is it? Guys, help us. How do we call it?
It's newspapers.
Newspapers and probably the magazines. How do we call it on the whole? Do you remember? Put it on the whiteboard. Do you remember? No, you don't? So it's press. Press. Now, please tell me, how many sources of information do we know? 4, right. 4 types of mass media, 4 sources of information. Okay, today we're going to talk about the radio, right? Tell me, please, how are we finding new information about the radio? What are we doing during the lesson? What do we usually do? Listen, absolutely. What else?
Read the text.
Right.
Talk.
Talk, yes, for sure. We're going to talk a lot. And finally,
Watch films.
right you are. So we will work with different types and it's your ideas and suggestions. I do agree with them. So tell me please, if we are going to talk about the radio, there are some questions I would like you to answer. So please open your student books. It's page 43. In exercise 1B, we have got some questions that are closely connected with our topic. But I haven't mentioned one important detail. Before we will start working with the topic, who would like to be a judge after the lesson? Aha, test, please. Who would like to be a reviewer? Diana, you are. Thank you. So you have to work hard during the class. Thank you, girls. Now, 1B. Let's read the questions. Tanya, read the first question.
Do you listen to the radio? What type of shows do you like? Music, news, chat, sport?
Okay, thank you. So now let's discuss. If I'm going to ask some of you, for example, Pash, do you listen to the radio?
Yes, I like to listen music.
To music, right. Do you listen to some certain channels or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I see. Tess, what about you?
I like to listen to chat and sport.
Aha, on the radios, I see. Tanya, what about you?
I listen to the news.
Thank you. Diane?
I listen all type of shows.
Aha, so is there anyone who doesn't listen to the radio? Pasha Zhigrev, so it's another question from me then. How do you get the information?
It is net and TV.
So he's a modern guy in the model world. Why not? Thank you. Okay, by the way, when you're listening to the radio, where do you usually do it? Mash?
My father drives a car and I listen to the radio.
Absolutely, in the car. What's, Dani, your suggestion? Where do you prefer listening to the radio?
I listen to the music in the car.
In the car. Somebody, please tell me that you listen to the radio at home. Yes, Anya Shinkareva. What are you doing while listening to the radio? At home. Maybe you are doing your homework while listening?
No.
Just relaxing, yes? Okay, I see. Now, thank you. I found out some important facts from you. And on this stage, I would like you to learn some new words. So, please open your student books. Notebooks. And write down some words. Yes, Tess. Thank you. So you have several minutes to write the words down. Okay, then. Now I hope that you are ready. Let's check the words one by one. Mary, read and give us...
Experience. It means
Опыт. Absolutely, right. Tanya, go on.
up to date.
Modern.
Курсе.
You may translate it like this. You may translate it like this. I would give you the adjective современный. Danya, go on.
To entertain.
Do you know?
Развивать.
Right, thank you, Tess. Diane, go on.
Campus.
Campus.
I don't know.
Who knows? Tanya?
Территория школы.
Yes, something like this. Or колледжа. Or you may translate it some... Yes. And sometimes you may translate it like общежитие, right? Паш Постников, go on.
Smoothly.
All goes well. Бесперебойно, right, correct. Паша Жигарев, go on.
To present.
No, the stress is on the second syllable. To...
To present.
Absolutely.
Представлять.
Yes. By the way, if we are using the means of suffixation, how do we translate the word представитель? Представитель. A doer of the action. Presenter. Presenter, correct. And a presenter on the radio or on the TV is a person who presents these shows. Ведущий. Right? Go on. Аня Шинкарева. By. Nearby.
Nearby.
Somewhere near. Right, Mary. Thank you. Tess.
Equipment. It means оборудование.
Absolutely. Lizzie, go on.
To involve.
Yes. Who knows? Our lesson today involves 10 students. Включает в себя, Mary. Don't be afraid. It's okay. And the last, Maxim. Yes. A person who is learning or studying somewhere is gaining an experience. What is he doing with the experience? For example, working at school, I am gaining teaching experience. Absolutely. Thank you very much. So now you have translated all the words and we are going to the work with the text. These words will help you, so you may use your notebooks while working with the text. Come back to your student books, to the same page. So, you are working in groups as usually, and you have different tasks. So, the first group has the headlines. You have to match these headlines to the paragraphs. One headline is not necessary, it is the odd one, okay? You are working together and then present the results to the other groups. So, the second group has 3 statements. You should decide whether they are true, false, or not stated in the text. Okay?
Yes.
So you're working together. Again, please. And your task is, I believe, the most difficult. You are to answer the questions using the text. So, working together again. Don't forget about the rules of working in groups. Please consult each other and mind the ideas of the others. So, when you hear the ring of the bell, it means that it's time for you to finish. It's a group work, not the individual one. Grace, is the task clear? Should I comment it? Okay. Any problems? No? So smart, Grace. Thank you. I hope you are ready. But before checking up, I would like you to have an eye relaxation exercise. So, I hope that you will get rid of eye tension. Please turn to the screen and follow the instructions.
Follow along, doing the exercises as they are shown on the touchscreen. First, a neck stretch. Slowly rotate your head.
Maxim.
Rotate right. Rotate left. Rotate right. Rotate left.
Thank you. So now we can come back to our checking up. Let's do it together. So I hope we can start with the first group. Your task was to match the paragraphs to the titles. So please, one by one, read the headline, give its translation, and then number the paragraph. For example, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and so on. Who will start?
Maybe I?
Please.
A good work experience. Эксперимент с хорошей работой, хороший эксперимент.
Is experience.
Опыт.
Yes.
Рабочий опыт.
So, Tess, what paragraph is it?
It's paragraph 4.
Right, go on. Аня Шинкарева. Paragraph 2, right, correct. Maxim, what paragraph is it? 4? Is everyone? 3. Liz, yes, I believe it's 3. And which have we skipped? Tess?
We miss the headline music and fun. It's the first paragraph.
Absolutely, thank you. So now we have checked all the combination. Now we are coming to the checking up the task of the second group, right? So again, you read the statement and then you stand up and come to the proper name board, okay? So who wants to start? Diane, please.
University radio usually informs students about all the international news.
Translate.
В университетском радио обычно сообщают студентам о всех интернациональных новостях.
Right. How do you translate the word international?
Международных.
Absolutely. So stand up and come to the name board you believe is correct.
I think it's true.
Do you think it's true? Tess doesn't agree, so
I think it's false.
Why?
Because the university radio talk about local news.
local news, right? You are. So Dan, where should you move?
False.
False, please. Move to the false statement. So Pasha, the next.
A person who writes the
Articles.
articles or news is a journalist.
Translate.
Человек, который пишет
What is it? Articles. You have the articles on the blackboard, by the way. Your own articles. Маш. Статьи. Thank you.
статьи и новости, это журналист.
Right. So Pasha, stand up and go to the correct name board. Do you agree? Yes, he's correct. Pash, finish it up.
People who work for a radio station earn a lot of money.
Translate.
Люди, работающие на радиостанциях, получают много денег.
Yes. Stand up and go somewhere. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes, they are correct. Now it's correct. Take your seats, please. We don't know about the salaries of the reviewers and the DJs on the radio. Well, probably you don't know. I know some information. Okay, thank you for your work. It was well done. Now, Anne, will you help me? Please hand out the papers to the students. So you have got the paper. And on this sheet of paper, please write down your name. We're going to listen to a very short radio program. While listening, your task is to tick or to circle the correct answer. Okay? The program is very short. That's why we're listening to it only twice. Only once, I'm sorry, only once. So please, be very attentive.
Exercise 4, page 43.
Good morning, listeners, and welcome to Breakfast Time with your DJ, Alison Cole. We're coming to you live from the studios of Radcliffe University.
So, I hope you finished by the moment. Liz, will you collect the papers, please? Thank you. Take a seat. By now, I want you to start talking to each other. It's time to make up short dialogues about radio. Your task is to work with a partner and find out some information about his preferences. Does he or she listen to the radio? If yes, what programs does he or she prefer? If no, how then he can get the information? So please, make up the short dialogues. Start talking to each other. So girls, are you? Yes, please. So?
Hi, Liz. Hi, Jess. Do you listen to radio? Yes, I do.
And what do you prefer? I prefer music and sports.
I like music and sport on the radio.
And did you listen to sport news yesterday?
Yes, and you?
I too.
Me too.
Me too. Oh, sport program is starting now. Let's go and listen.
Yes, sure.
Now it's time to come up close to the end of our lesson. So, remind me please, what was the topic of the lesson? Pash? Radio. And I would like you to make up a sequence on the topic of the radio. So, but by the way, I want you to remember the rules of making up a sequence. So, Anna Shinkareva, come up to the blackboard. What is the first word? Noun. Please, thank you. Mash, go on. Who wants to continue? Tess.
The next is phrase. It includes 4 words.
Okay. And there is still left one synonymic noun, right? So, I want you to start. So, who will come up to the blackboard and write down the words? Let's create a sequence together. We're working all together. Just, yes, Diane, come up to the blackboard. You are writing down our suggestions, okay? So the first word is radio for sure. Okay, let's invent some adjectives. Entertaining, why not? Entertaining with E. Now take the mop. Now we are to invent some verbs.
Maybe inform.
Inform, correct. To inform, E, it's okay. Inform, to inform, I see, thank you. So now we know that radio is also one of the sources of the information, one of the types of media. Now please open your log in your notebooks and write down some comments. So please don't forget to write down what new and important have you found out during this lesson. What was very difficult for you? Or write comments if you have any questions. Now that you are finishing, I would like our judge and our presenter to tell us a few words about the lesson. So Tess, I want you to give marks to the students. Please, you may use Russian. Stand up, please.
Мне кажется, что Диана заработала сегодня 5. Она активно отвечала, записывала слова, которые мы предлагали на секвенции. Liz, you was very active and you tell them Diane, so 5.
Okay, and Diane, please, tell us a few words.
Can I in Russian?
Yes, you may speak Russian for sure.
Я узнала новые слова и фразы. Мне сложно запомнить новые слова, сложно запомнить. И вопросов, по-моему, нет.
So, now it's time to write down your home task. So, in your student books on page 43, exercise 5, it is given the exercise and the instructions. So, I want you to make up your own radio programs, short, brief, but informative. So that you have no questions, I believe that your radio report will be successful as well. So students, you were very active and it was really well done. So I congratulate you. It's over. So thank you for the lesson. Stand up, please. Goodbye, students.
Goodbye, teacher.
Sit down, please. Итак, прозвенел звонок. Значит, время подводить итоги. На начальном этапе занятия дети выслушали рассказ, содержащий заведомо ложную информацию, выявили ошибки, что помогло им самостоятельно определить тему урока. На этапе целеполагания путем вовлеченности в активную фронтальную беседу школьникам удалось определить содержание обучения, а также судить об его актуальности. Каждый из учеников является полноправным участником образовательного процесса, и именно это позволяет им самим выбирать формы и методы работы, эффективные на данном занятии. На этапе актуализации знаний учащихся детям было предложено повторить информацию о средствах массовой информации, в дальнейшем связав его с темой сегодняшнего занятия. Здоровье-сберегающие технологии включены в структуру каждого моего занятия. Именно поэтому в рамках данного урока в связи со значительным мышечным напряжением детям было предложено упражнение на расслабление мышц глаз и снятие мышечного зрительного напряжения. Важнейшая часть образования – это не знание, а действие. Именно поэтому учащиеся на каждом этапе занятия решают образовательные задачи, а следовательно стимулируют деятельность. Школьники сочетали заголовки с абзацами, искали ответы на вопросы, а также судили о ложности и истинности утверждений. Кстати, это упражнение, выполненное не совсем традиционным для учителей иностранцев способов, помимо решения образовательной задачи, способствует, во-первых, снятию мышечного напряжения, позволяя детям двигаться, а во-вторых, минимизирует страх ошибки. Именно поэтому школьники с таким удовольствием его выполняют. На этапе совершенствования навыков диалогической речи учащиеся овладевали компетенциями, которые пригодятся им не только для дальнейшего образования, но и в реальной жизни, а следовательно решали важнейшую коммуникативную задачу. Активная вовлеченность всех участников свидетельствует об эффективности данного решения. На этапе рефлексии учащиеся работали в привычной для них форме бортового журнала, письменно фиксируя, что было новым на уроке, что было трудным и необычным, а что вызвало вопросы и сомнения. Работая с последней колонкой в дальнейшем, я помогу каждому из них ответить на вопросы и решить его собственные проблемы, а следовательно реализую дифференцированный подход в обучении. На этапе синквейна дети активизировали пассивный словарный запас, выстроили прочные лексические связи, а также продемонстрировали, что тема и цель урока прочно удерживалась ими на протяжении всего занятия. На этапе устного анализа занятий, а также выставления отметок, детям очень нравится самим выступать в роли преподавателя, а следовательно быть активными деятелями, а не просто пассивными наблюдателями и слушателями. Они критически относятся к мнению своему и окружающих, оценивают эффективность работы на уроке, а также учатся аргументированно доказывать свою точку зрения. Таким образом, Настя честно и беспристрастно выставила отметки каждому однокласснику, а Диана кратко проанализировала содержание урока. Подводя итоги, можно смело говорить о том, что цели и задачи, заявленные в начале занятия, достигнуты. Теплая и дружественная атмосфера способствовала эффективности данного занятия. Все учащиеся активно участвовали, а следовательно, проблем с домашним заданием возникнуть не должно. Я буду с нетерпением ждать следующего урока и их радиорепортажей. Спасибо за внимание и до встречи в эфире.